What's up, everybody? Welcome to iOS 3 Raw TV. Should you deload or should you not deload? That is the question. Jerry, to deload or not to deload? Like, sound like Shakespeare now. To deload or not to deload? Well, here's the deal. Let's first of all explain what deload is, just in case people don't know. Because there are beginners that watch this channel. This is technically not a beginner's channel. Like, this channel has been for advanced techniques and stuff for the last 8 years. But there are a lot of people that are brand new to the gym that wind up finding this channel through searches and stuff. So a deload is technically a period of time where you decrease the workload. Okay, and the reason why you do this is because you're technically getting overtrained. Now, what does that mean? So there's acute overtraining and there's chronic overtraining. Two different things. Acute overtraining is when you're kind of like, you've been pushing it really hard all week, and then you take the weekend off, which you normally take, and then by the time you get back to the gym on Monday, you've had enough rest to where your body is technically recovered and you're good to go. That's acute overtraining. Sometimes you take 3 days off, you're good, right? Chronic overtraining is a little bit different. Some people need to go anywhere from a week to a month with deload, or sometimes just getting out of the gym altogether. It depends on the situation. But I think understanding why you need a deload, like physically, like, physiologically, why you need that. Many people think that muscles take a long time to recover, like 3-4 days to recover. Some people do like the body split where they train every body part once a week, which they're like, well, it takes 7 days for the body part to recover. Not true. Matter of fact, it was the Bulgarians and the Russians both that, when they had their burst training systems, did some kind of, I'm not really sure exactly how it was. I remember reading the study before, or reading the workup on it, and I think it was Optimum Training Systems that put it out, and said that they had actually found that they can get a muscle to fully recover within 24 hours with the right nutrition and rest, etc., massage, like whatever they had to do. But if the nutrition was even more on point, using supplements, and I'm pretty sure drugs too, they can get the muscle to fully recover within 8 hours. Within 8 hours, the muscle is fully recovered. Now, how you measure that, I don't fucking know. But I remember reading the thing and reading what they said and reading the studies and stuff and being like, wow, that's pretty amazing, which meant that you can train every body part every day, technically, muscle-wise, and be able to recover if the volume and nutrition was right. Now, if it's not the muscles that are not recovering, then why do we need a deload? It's the central nervous system. That's why you need a deload. Muscles recover very quickly compared to the central nervous system, and the CNS, I mean, I always write CNS because right now central nervous system is just fucking, it's a giant pain in the ass. So if your central nervous system is fried to the point where it's not recovering fast enough or not recovering at all, you may need to do a quote-unquote deload, or I like to call it active recovery training. So you're still training, but you're not training to your full level of training that you normally do. Now, there are power lifters and I believe Olympic lifters too that actually have training blocks that build the deloads directly, automatically into them. And I think that's smart for what they do, because their joints, ligaments, and tendons take a much bigger beating than the bodybuilders do. Even though I'd say that we probably see more torn muscles in bodybuilding than we do in powerlifting, but it's definitely for, I want to say, a different reason. But bodybuilders technically, they don't do deloads. They do active recovery training, or they get out of the gym altogether. But I personally, not being a powerlifter, not being an Olympic lifter, don't like the whole building the blocks in. Because let's say I train for 10 weeks and then I have a 6-week or 5-week or 4-week training block that's a deload. Well, what if my body's fully recovered, my central nervous system is fully recovered within a week? If I stick it out that other 3 weeks because that's the way the training block was set up, I'm now losing that time. I'm not progressing. I may not be regressing, but I'm just kind of staying stagnant for 3 weeks. Well, if my body's already healed, I don't need to stay stagnant for that 3 weeks. After that week, I can go ahead and train again. I can start building up the intensity, maybe ramping up, or maybe jumping right back in, depending on how far you quote unquote deloaded or did active recovery for. So for me personally, what I like to see is a week by week basis. If I'm training for 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 15 weeks, or whatever, and I walk in the gym and something's not right, like you just feel a little bit, off, whatever the case may be. But I mean, you have to really be honest with yourself too. You have to distinguish between being tired from your daily life, being lazy, and truly being quote-unquote overtrained. Because you hear people say, well, there's no such thing as overtraining. Well, there are people out there that their central nervous system adapts very quickly. Their muscular system adapts even quicker than the normal person. You throw them on drugs and it increases both of those things. And these fuckers can train nonstop. Like, they can do 30 sets for biceps every day and still grow, or at least not overtrain. Then there's the people like me who are just kind of in the middle. We don't have the crazy genetics. We don't have the shittiest genetics, but we recover at a normal average rate, which I would say that I say most people probably would be sitting like where I'm at. I'm not a super. Mike Rashid comes to mind as far as being able to recover. This dude, like, he can do so many sets and reps and use a ton of weight. Ronnie Coleman was like that. Jay Cutler was like that. These guys recover like nobody's business, and it's definitely something they're born with, which actually allows them to use bigger workloads for longer periods of time than the average person. But if I go in the gym and one day I'm like, like today's a perfect example. I got in there and I felt like last week I pushed it a little bit. Like, I'm noticing that, my strength, even though I'm pulling back on my carbs a little bit, pulling back on my fats a little bit because I just don't want to be that heavy anymore. As I'm starting to lean out a little bit, my strength is kind of going up. And I'm like, okay, my strength is going up. So if it's going up and I'm feeling good, I'm going to push it a little bit. I'm not going to push it like I push my pec, but I'm going to push it a little bit. I'm not going balls out like I did with my pec, but I'm going to increase the weight a little bit, or at least keep the weight the same while I'm coming down in my body weight. I'm keeping the weights the same in the gym. As long as I feel okay, I'll keep them there. I keep the reps, 12 reps, 13 reps, 15 reps, somewhere around there, making sure I'm not training too heavy to cause an injury. But today I walked in there and everything, as soon as I picked it up, felt heavy. Like my body felt stiff. And I knew I slept enough last night, which I never really sleep enough, but I slept enough for me last night. My nutrition's always on point. And I knew I had an extra little bit of calories in me because I had a cheat day this weekend, right? I always have my cheat days on Sunday. So walking to the gym Monday, I usually should feel pretty good. So I walked in, this morning, everything felt heavy, everything just felt off. I was like, fuck, nothing feels right. Rather than say, okay, you know what? Nothing feels right. Let's try to do a 500-pound squat, which I haven't done in 10 years. Like I said, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to come in here and we're going to see set to set, every set, because we're doing, 3 sets of like whatever, it's bench. So they did 3 sets of bench, right? We use that as an example because people like to make fun of my pec. We're doing 3 sets of bench. That first set, I kind of take it from this. Okay, this is where I'm at, so I'm feeling. All right, I don't really feel like I can add any weight, so we're going to do a second warm-up set and see how that feels. The next set, kind of getting in the groove a little more. Okay, cool. I feel a little better. So maybe I'll just add 5 pounds, 2.5 on each side. No, I didn't bench, but I'm just using this as an example. And then see how that feels. Well, that felt okay. All right, do I want to go up? Because I'm really not feeling it right now. It felt okay, but didn't feel good. So I'm going to just stay with that today. And today's going to be a maintenance workout, an active recovery maintenance workout. Or there are times where I feel like it's like almost like contest prep, right? So actually it's more towards like off season, because my off seasons were so structured to where I had limited amounts of time to try to make gains for the next show, that I felt like, and I always feel like this, every workout counts, every rep counts, every set counts. There is no missed reps, sets, workouts, nothing. Every cardio session, everything counts. Everything is a building block in that wall that you're building. It's a brick in the wall. So I would go in there and I would literally force these sets and stuff. But off season, if I felt like, like for today, for some reason I don't have it in me, I would back off, maybe do a full body routine. Like do literally a full body routine, get out of the gym, see how I feel, make sure I'm like, I'm recovering, taking my supplements, and making sure that I eat like what I need to eat to recover, enough protein, carbohydrate-wise, depending on where I'm at in the off-season, but usually it was plenty of carbs. When I go back to the gym the next day, the body part that I was going to train, that I did 1 set and stopped and did a full body, I may try that body part again and see how it feels. Do 1 set, see how it feels. If it feels okay, I may go ahead and do the full workout for the body part. If it still feels off, what I'm going to do is probably that day I'm going to leave the gym. And I'm going to come back the next day, do a full body, take a day off, full body. So 3 full bodies that week. Then the weekend off. When I come back Monday, I'm going to start fresh. And 99% of the time, that's all it took was that active recovery in order for me to get back on track and not feel quote unquote overtrained or have any issues in the gym. So for me to constantly make progress, because I honestly always feel like if you're going to write a program on a piece of paper, your body doesn't give a fuck. Like if you're like, I'm going to do this 12-week program and I'm going to try to gain 100 pounds on my bench and gain 10 pounds of body weight, your body doesn't give a fuck what's on that paper. You may gain 1 pound of body weight and fucking no pounds on your bench, right? It doesn't give a shit. But if you said, okay, I'm going to do 12 weeks, I'm going to start Monday just to see where I can get by the end of that, and you listen to your body as opposed to trying to force it to do something that's on a piece of paper and getting hurt or discouraged, or getting hurt is the worst case scenario, and you take it day by day, workout by workout, week by week. By the time you get done with those 12 weeks, you've now progressed further than the person that wrote it down and tried to follow it no matter what, because they literally have come up against obstacles that they weren't listening to. The body wasn't ready. It didn't want to do those things. It wasn't recovered, whatever the case may be. So personally, for me, guys, it's always about listening to your body, and it takes a long fucking time to do this shit. It takes so long to learn your body and to learn what the signals are, to learn how it feels. Like if you're a new person starting out, I'll tell you what, you got a long way to go. And I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth that everything, like when you're starting out, you can perceive as something bad or good, right? Like if you got one extra rep, like, oh my God, I'm growing. Like you actually could have maybe just shifted a little bit on the bench and got an extra rep. You know, it might not have been anything at all, but you perceive everything as something or nothing. You know, you could be in the gym tired as hell for like a week and you're sleeping enough, eating enough, and you're thinking, wow, it's due to stress from work. And really, technically, it's because you were doing, you know, squats every day last week and your central nervous system is fried. You did 7 days worth of squats for some reason because you fucking went loopy that week and decided to go crazy. And then this week you're not recovered. Your central nervous system is not recovered, but you play it off as something else. Like you're not listening because you don't have enough experience. So with time comes experience, and with experience comes knowledge. And with that knowledge, you're able to put it into your body and your physique and get it to change and do the things you want. But you have to put in the work, guys. You have to put in the time. I get people day after day on Instagram and now Facebook Live that will ask me, like, what do you think I should do for this? What do you think? What's the best way to this? What's the best with it? And I'm like, have you guys tried it? No. What do you mean you haven't tried it? So you're asking me, how the fuck am I supposed to know what your body's going to do? I know that when I do this, it does this for me. But my buddy, when he does it, it does something different for him. You need to try. You need to stop looking for answers on the internet. You need to stop looking for answers in forums. Stop looking for answers from the people down the street or at the gym. You need to get the basic knowledge of how your body works. And yeah, you can have tips or advice. I hate the word tips, but tips, advice, pointers, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But really what it boils down to, you have a lot of trial and error in front of you. You have a lot of learning to do based on, honestly, when you're going to fail on certain things. And then you learn from those things and you come back better and stronger and then you progress. So hopefully this explains a little bit, guys. You know, should you deload? I think everybody has to take a quote unquote deload. I call them active recovery from time to time, but it doesn't have to be scheduled in there. If you don't want to schedule it in there, you could schedule it in. Like, try it both ways. Try it scheduling it in there for your next couple of training blocks. And then the couple training blocks after that, try not scheduling it and feeling it out. See if you can feel where it's at. If not, if you can't feel it yet, schedule it again until you get enough understanding of your body, knowing what those signals are to where you can do it completely on your own. BiosTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biotraining.com is the blog. It's the Feel It Out Bicep, and we are out.